I just want to preface this video by saying that this is not a tea or a drama video. This is a very, very serious situation, and it's legally finicky. It could result in legal proceedings, and this is not petty internet drama. This is incredibly serious and disgusting. And I also want to say that this is not me looking for any kind of clout or anything like that. I'm making this video because I was going to write an article about it, of course, but because that's what I'm trained in. But I can't because I'm that annoyed, and I don't think I'd be able to quite convey how annoyed I am at the situation if I were to write an article about it, because of course they'd have to be it'd have to be a lot shorter. Creepshow Art, a channel run by a woman called Shannon, recently uploaded a video in which she talked about 2 drag race queens in relation to JakeyonceISOverParty, another YouTuber, and a hashtag that was trying to cancel him on social media. In the first part of the video, she basically just talks about drag race drama and the fact that, you know, he's come under fire in the past from previous drag race queens for talking about them. And I'm not too concerned with that. That's just petty internet drama. I want to focus on the second half of the video, in which she literally accuses 2 famous drag queens of sharing revenge porn. Essentially, revenge porn of a minor. Nudes of someone who, at the time they were taken, was a minor, and that person was JakeyonceISOverParty.
Because their points are so lackluster, they are resorting to using images that were leaked when he was a minor. Images that, so you know, are less than legal. And these people are sharing them all over their platform of over 200,000 followers. But I guess Ariel Versace thinks exposing a minor's DMs and photos are the same thing as her doing a racist drag performance about 9/11. So, you know, that's fine. That's cute. That's real fun for her. After all of that, Shea Coulee and Ariel Versace, another Drag Race contestant who has hated Jake from the moment he reported on their racist 9/11 performance and their racist take about the Little Mermaid, came into contact with someone who was sending out leaked Snapchat messages from when Jake was a minor. These messages were sex from when Jake was between the ages of 15 to 17, and these were leaked as part of a paste bin where images of him when he was less than legal and not clothed were leaked as well. Basically, what I am telling you right now is what was posted was revenge porn. His sex, his nudes, revenge porn was posted by and then retweeted by Shea Coulee and Ariel Versace, 2 people with massive platforms. And these were posted in direct response to them calling out Jake and trying to spread hashtag CancelJakeyonce. Shea Coulee and Ariel Versace, 2 people who are successful in their field and are massively talented, like they're very talented, very gifted performers who have large audience who don't like Jake for whatever reason that they are allowed to not like Jake, decided that they were going to repost to their large audience these images, this revenge porn, to embarrass and hurt this fucking 19-year-old. These 2 grown-ass men decided to post revenge porn from when this person was a child, again, in response to him posting this screenshot.
She shows a screenshot of Ariel Versace's Twitter where she retweeted a thread that was compiled by another Twitter user. Yes, the thread does include screenshots of a private Snapchat conversation. I don't think that was necessary. I don't think that that was necessarily a good thing to include. I don't think it was needed, but there was absolutely no nudes in there. There were none. There was no child porn or revenge porn in that thread that she uses. And it's not only this false accusation that I'm annoyed about, but in this video that Shannon made, not only does she make these false allegations that are verifiably untrue, but she exhibits what I have to say is one of the most egregious examples of manipulation and gaslighting that I've ever seen. In order to make her argument appear stronger, she tries to make out that the owner of the account that tweeted this original thread that Ariel Versace retweeted and quote-unquote tweeted, she tries to suggest that this person is evil, messed up, that this person had previously sent her images of self-harm in order to trigger her.
And by the way, just fun fact, the account that is sending out his nudes is the same account that has sent me graphic images of gore and people cutting themselves in order to trigger me to cut myself, because at one point I mentioned that the person doing this is someone online who really enjoys spreading falsehoods about YouTubers and triggering them to do stuff like this, to hurt themselves. And they're spreading this kid's revenge porn. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you people.
Now, I will say that that is true. That happened. This account admitted to that in an apology they made. And there is actually another side to this story, which this person in question has stated, and I'm gonna just like provide that for you right now. So this is the thread that the person made, and I'm gonna put it on the screen and I'm gonna read from it. Back in 2019, Creepshow Art and I were arguing over something serious, and I lashed out in a really gross way, sorry. I showed her that I self-harmed. I publicly apologised to her, as triggering stuff like that should never be brought into arguments. I agree there. It was wrong. While I want to apologise to her again for what happened, I find it disgusting how she wants to use a moment of mental instability against me. What I did was extremely wrong, but for her to bring this back up again and manipulate the story is effing evil. Now, please don't make it seem like I am sat here and I'm taking this as all as gospel. I'm just merely presenting like an opposing argument and the other side to this story. I don't know for certain if this is true, but because I haven't seen the comments and the messages that Creepshow and this person shared. I'm just saying that this person's saying something completely different to what Shannon has said, and considering, you know, everything that we'll get into in the rest of the video, it doesn't look good on Shannon's part. The fact that she left a lot of this out, and it's really concerning. So just know that I'm not being like, I'm not taking this fully for gospel. I'm just presenting it to you to make up your own mind. Now, I just want to say that that's a really bad thing to do, to share like self-harm with someone, especially because Creepshow Art, she has herself struggled with mental health a lot, and I'm not defending that, and I agree that's not a good thing to do. It was really, really bad. But I just find it really, really interesting that Shannon would just completely omit. You're gonna hear me say the word omit a lot in this video. The fact that this person who had apologized for what happened in 2019 was suffering from severe mental health issues and was a person who themselves had, struggled with self-harming. As I said, nowhere in the thread was there any kind of nude photos, no revenge porn, and it would actually be child porn, because she drives home the point several times that these were apparently taken when Jake was a minor. So that would make it child porn, except there's no nude photos in the thread at all. There is one private Snapchat conversation, one, and you're gonna get to see why it's relevant in a minute. There is another extremely disturbing aspect to this, which further, in my opinion, lowers Shannon's credibility as someone who wants to exist online and talk about serious issues and make commentary videos. Now, I know what I've just said here might seem like I'm being a bit too extremist in saying, like, lowers her credibility and it's disgusting, but this is not me trying to be like, this is cancel culture. I'm not trying to say she should never be allowed to be on the internet. It's not that. I just think that this is a very serious thing that she's done, huge oversight, and I think she really needs to, you'll get to probably understand it a bit more later in the video, but she really needs to address this because it's really, really wrong. The person who tweeted the thread, the same person with this, regarding the self-harm, included one screenshot of a private conversation, did so while also bringing to light several allegations that had been made against JakeyonceisOverParty. Shannon used the previous self-harm incident as a way and as a pretext to then undermine the credibility of the original author of the original Twitter thread that started this whole thing, to then focus exclusively on one Snapchat message that was included, in order to then thus, what looks like, in my opinion, to bury these allegations against her friend. Something further that I should add here is that I'm not saying that for definite she was trying to bury these accusations. She could have just been very overwhelmed and very emotional about the fact that her friend, was being exposed, except we've kind of established that he wasn't. But I'm not saying that for definite this was her intention, but it would be nice for her to clarify, and it certainly comes across that way to me. So I'm just coming in now, just before anyone starts. I'm not saying for certain that that's the motive, but that's just what it seems like to me from the outside looking in. Now, before I go any further, I just want to make a disclaimer that I cannot speak to the validity of these accusations against Jake, nor would I want to, because I have no way of verifying if they're true or if they're real. And I am somebody who thoroughly believes in due process, and I think that the authorities should be the ones handling this, not thousands of people on YouTube, but the authorities. So I'm not going to talk about the validity of those. I can't say if he's guilty or not, and I would never want to suggest that he is, because I don't want to get myself in trouble, and I don't know, because I wasn't there. That being said, interesting that she would leave out this very crucial key context to this situation, because in her video, she actually never goes into any kind of detail about these accusations. She skirts around them completely to try to make this whole situation seem like it's just some disgusting trolls that decided to leak a child's nudes online, when it's pretty obvious and she must know that that's complete BS. It's not true and it didn't happen. Another point that I need to drive home here is that she might have things to disprove these accusations that have gone on. I'm not trying to bring these up to be like, JakeyonceIsOverParty is guilty of this, JakeyonceIsOverParty isn't guilty of this. I'm bringing this up specifically because it relates to the intention the author had with the thread. She might have information that disproves these allegations. I don't know. I'm just saying that the reason the allegations were brought up was to bring conversation and bring to light those allegations. It wasn't that like there was like nude photos and it was all just an elaborate plan to like embarrass Jake, which is not true. I just want to make sure that everyone thoroughly understands that. What's even more disgusting is that she accuses Ariel Versace and Shea Coulee, two huge drag queens, of retweeting revenge porn of a minor.
And you're not going to spread the sex and nudes of a minor in order to make yourself better. I looked up to you people. How the fuck is this okay? That is gross. That is fucking gross. And I'm disappointed in each and every one of these queens because I was genuinely fans of them. Especially Shea, because she is straight up one of the most beautiful and gifted performers to ever compete on Drag Race. She's amazing. Attacking a 19-year-old to the point where he can no longer go online, where he can't be here because so many people are sending him his old nudes, which you don't think that's triggering? You don't think the act of having your naked body sent to you that was you when you were a minor, you don't think that would hurt someone? You think that's fine. You think that's funny. They were leaked as revenge porn by someone who is hurting him. And that is sickening that you would do it. It's sick. It is gross. God damn it. And Ariel's a YouTuber. Ariel Versace on YouTube? Gross. You're gross. Fuck.
We live in like a post-Me Too world. You can't just go on the internet and make up these false allegations against someone. It could ruin someone's career, and it could even ruin someone's life. It could end someone's life if they get, if it goes that far. Thankfully, Ariel did tweet about this, and I have the tweets here. I'll include it in the description and on the screen, that she has actually been in contact with a lawyer, and I honestly hope she decides to move forward with some kind of sort of charges against or something about the situation, because this is the literal definition of defamation, and I think it would come under slander because it's oral. It's she says it on the video. I know that libel is written. It disgusts me, especially because I've studied journalism and I want to be a journalist eventually, and I'm in university now for criminology because I want to focus kind of on criminal journalism, so I thought this might help me. But I'm somebody who believes thoroughly in being unbiased and showing two sides to an argument, and to see her omit such huge details, blast out this narrative so recklessly, it makes my blood boil and it makes me feel physically sick. I've made several tweets about this and I've actually tweeted her directly, and to my surprise she didn't block me, and she still hasn't. She actually replied to me and said she wants me to fact check her. So here I am, and there I was in the thread, and I sent her several clips from her video in which she says very clearly that there were nudes as well as sex. There were nudes, revenge porn, which she says several times in the video. I just want to know, in what world is retweeting a thread with one private conversation, among sexual exploitation accusations, because that's crucial context here, how is that comparable in any way, or in any way the same thing as revenge porn, and revenge porn of a minor specifically, basically child porn? In what way is it comparable? Like, these two things are not the same. It's interesting how for someone who constantly bangs on about Jeffree Star, that she would completely drag someone and accuse somebody of releasing, nudes of a minor without any evidence, and something which is completely verifiably untrue. I also think it's hilarious how this can be taken in conjunction with what's happening to Joe Biden at the moment. It's it's all about Me Too, believe all victims, believe all women, until it comes to someone that we actually like and somebody who's supposedly on our side. And, it is essential, in my opinion, that Ariel does actually move forward with some kind of legal proceedings about this, because, at the time that I'm recording this video, the video stands at 177,000 views, and there are literally kids and people and commenters in the comments of the video wanting to report the queens to the FBI. And I can't speak to the validity, and I'm not saying that he's guilty or not, and I would never want to do that. I just think that it's ridiculous for Shannon to pretend like this entire situation came about because people, including those queens, are all evil, and that it was only because he posted about Drag Race tea and they were annoyed, and so they released a child's nudes. I really hate the fact that this was the angle she took. Not only is it a complete falsehood, but it's ridiculous. Did she not think that people could just click on the thread? This kind of thing, it's so reckless. And somebody with 200 and something thousand subscribers, she should know how reckless this is. She should know better. And, especially in current year, as I said before, it's post-Me Too. I mean, these accusations would be disgusting, even before then. But now, as soon as any kind of accusation is made, everyone is just on it. And it's, this person's cancelled, and they get dragged through the court of public opinion. For her to just make this video dragging these two queens, it's either a lie or a huge, huge oversight on her part. This is precisely what is worrying to a lot of people when it comes to, defamation and things. In the UK, at least, we have a lot of laws in place for anyone who wants to be a journalist or anyone who wants to kind of report on things to, they have to do intense fact checking, and they have to be able to prove things first. And we have those laws in place because people know that kind of, defamation and spreading false allegations about people can do real damage to someone's reputation. And we understand that here. So it does concern me when I see all of these tea drama channels getting involved in things like this and just saying these things without really thinking about the gravity of what they're doing. Just as this one last thing, I am going to include a statement from the author of the original Twitter thread, as I think it's important to show both sides of the story, which Shannon has completely failed to do. Obviously, I don't know if everything this person says is true. I'm not sat here completely taking this person's side and being like, look. I just want to say that there are two sides to this story, and there are two sides to every story, and I think that for Shannon to leave out this from her video was really reckless and really disgusting, and the least she can do is apologize and release a huge statement, make a video, and address this publicly, because the longer that she leaves this, the more people are going to see her video, and the more people are going to assume guilt, because she's not only made the accusations against Shay and against Ariel, she's also completely undermined the credibility of this person and made it so a lot of people will just watch the video and not even question it. Now, I did see Jake tweet that edited screenshots and edited nudes had been leaked. I can't find any evidence of that happening. This thread that Shannon used certainly doesn't have that happening in it, so if it did happen, that's also pretty vile. But the people that she's mentioning in this video haven't done that. What's the disconnect here? What's happening? Why did this happen? Why did Shannon not do any more research? Or why didn't she make it clearer, the distinction? Because there wouldn't have even really been that much of a problem if she'd said, they retweeted this thread that had in it a private conversation from my friend that my friend was having, which is, I think, that was kind of unnecessary to have in the thread. But that's such a far cry from what she actually said in the video. It's so beyond the realms of sanity and of reason, and it's so far beyond anything what she said in the video. Something needs to happen. She needs to take this down, and she needs to explain herself, and she needs to realise the gravity of what she's done, because this kind of shit ruins people's lives. Now, before I leave here, I am going to attach that statement that this person said. I'm not going to read it out because it's very long, but I'll put it in the description, and I'll maybe put it on screen, and I will link to their Twitter page, and I will be putting like the screenshots that I've used in this to prove my points. It does personally annoy me when I see people doing things like this, because we all know how much and how prevalent like false information is and like fake news and things like that. We all know the damage that they can do, and we all know that when somebody hears fake rumors about someone, you know, that damage doesn't really go away. There are always going to be some people who believe it, and you know, the damage from this will have already been done. But the least Shannon could do would be to apologize and release a statement and move on, really.